6 o'clock on this Wednesday, the 15th of December. This is the next in our Piano Hour session, a Music Revival online series. I hope that you can join us for the next hour for a program of music on this beautiful, very warm Wednesday in KZN, and there's a thunderstorm brewing, so you might hear the odd thunder clap and crash of crack of lightning and rolling of thunder in the background. It's a sweltering evening here, so the air conditioning is on, but I've got a program of quite cool, I think, music for you this evening, and that is a series of my own compositions, my own improvisations, and my own music. And there is one composition by Chopin I'm including right in the center, right in the middle of it. So I hope you're going to enjoy this evening. I realized that I haven't produced or haven't focused on some of my own music for quite some time, and it seemed like the right time. It's coming close to Christmas. Tomorrow, really, the 16th of December, public holiday for many people in this part of the world, is really the official start of the Christmas holiday. Little Lucy's just come in, yes, hello Lucy, and settled herself down because she knows that the next hour is going to be a relaxing, calming and enjoyable session together around the piano. Now this evening, as I said, I'm going to play a selection of my own pieces, and I'm going to start off with 4 compositions, including 2 brand new pieces. I'm starting off with something that's, a lot of these pieces have working titles, they're not final, and I've always called this first piece something of a theme tune. It always seems like it belongs in a theme tune in a TV program or a movie. It's got a very local atmosphere to it. It's got a bit of fun and a bit of energy, and it's a good start to the program. And then straight after that, I'm playing 2 new pieces. Well, and I say they're new, it's the first time I'm presenting them. I actually improvised them. They were recordings that I improvised, and I happened to record them on my cell phone. In fact, one of them 4 or 5 years ago, and they've been sitting there and I've listened to them on and off, and I thought, well, maybe this is a good chance to write some of this down and bring it together. So people often ask me, well, how do I create this music? As I've just done now, every single stream that I do, I make up. It's completely improvised. As of this evening, I was having a little wardrobe malfunction just before we started. That's why we're a few seconds late. And I'm really not sure what I'm going to play, and I just play whatever comes into my head. And sometimes these ideas are actually quite interesting, and I keep them, and sometimes they're not, and I try and forget about them. So the 2 pieces that I had recorded, the one, interestingly, has got the sound of rain. It's the first September rains, so I called it September Rain as a working title. It's something quite different to what I normally do. It's a little bit improvisatory and somewhat melancholic, but that first September spring rain that you wait for months and months after the heat and the winds of August, it finally arrived, and suddenly I found myself playing the piano with this rain pouring down the gutters outside. Straight after that, I'm going to play a new piece, Song for David. My friend David Sayeras, one of the compromises that I've certainly made during this lockdown period is not to be able to see many of my friends and colleagues, particularly those internationally, and David and I have talked about it so often that we so miss playing together, and I miss being able to create music for him. This is a piece of music that I had an idea for some time ago, and he's never heard it. And I know what he's going to say. He's going to say to me, but Chris, you play these things on the piano and I have to blow the saxophone and I've got to create this long melody, and there's no chance for him to breathe, and he just about expires trying to play through these entire very long phrases. But I know he can do it. That's why I think I keep doing it for him. And then the last piece in the series of 4 is an improvisation that I did on one of these programs last year, I think in August or September, in A major, a particularly bright piece that I quite liked and that I had on my YouTube channel as the welcome. So 4 different pieces of music to start, of my own compositions, my own creation, call it that, for this evening's Piano Hour session. And the ball behind me is annoying me because it's already hitting the wall and it's going to rattle. There we go. hail, serious amount of hail coming down. You can hear the hail on the windows. Are you worried? Very worried about his garden, always. Whenever the hail comes, we're always very worried about the garden because, of course, the garden is quite special. And the hail really has a massive impact. And, of course, here is Frida, ready because of the thunder. It's Frida popped. Frieds, look, there you are. Frida, you scared of the thunder? It's okay. I'm right here. It's going to be okay, Frieds. Right, so I'm with some music, some rather appropriate atmosphere, hail and thunder and lightning for a piece called September Rain. Well, I've grown rather fond of that piece of an improvisation of mine that I've kept and worked on, an improvisation from September last year in A major. I quite like that. And before that, I played two brand new pieces that no one's heard before, except myself, of course. First of all, the first one was September Rain, or an idea inspired by September Rain, and then a song for my friend David Sayeras, who is in Spain and who we all hope is going to be able to visit us one day. And I started that section of four pieces, that four-player, you might say, with a piece called The Theme Tune, or A Theme Tune. It's still not got a proper title, but it might just always be called that. I'm going to continue in this evening's session with two of my most popular pieces, or certainly one of them, and that is the piece from the 4 KwaZulu-Natal landscapes that I wrote and recorded on the album Midnight Blue with David, and this is a very popular piece of Heimville. And I was inspired, as I've always said, by my trips. No, I'm going backwards. So I'm doing. Sorry, I confused Barry. Okay, I'm going to do it in order. So I'm starting. I was going to introduce them backwards, but I'm going to start with Lions River, which also is an inspiration of my trips around KZN. Whenever I go traveling, I used to go to Heimville quite regularly to play, and it's always amazing what a beautiful part of the world we live in, and how the landscapes are so unique and so different. And driving to a concert has such a special energy. Hello. Barry, they've all ensconced themselves in the new piano cover. Okay. There's a special energy traveling around. So first of all, Lions River at least has a unique atmosphere as you enter over the Howick, the mountains just part Howick into this massive escarpment, beautiful valley. It's such a wonderful scene. And it's also actually the subtitle of this piece was The Night Before Christmas. That elemented exactly this time of year, the storms, the bright light, the heat, and at the same time this anticipation of wonderful atmospheres of holidays and family gatherings. Just a very special time. So I'm going to start off with Lions River, then I'm going to play a Chopin Nocturne, which I just felt was the right thing to do in the center of this program, Chopin Nocturne in F minor, and that's going to lead us very nicely then into Heimville, the third of the 3 pieces, another of my compositions from the 4 KwaZulu-Natal landscapes, and a very popular one too. that selection of 3 pieces there. I started with one of my own compositions from the 4 KwaZulu-Natal landscapes, Lions River. I then played a Chopin Nocturne, not my music, but Chopin, really a magnificent Nocturne in F minor, opus 55. And then I ended that selection of 3 with another of the KwaZulu-Natal landscapes called Heimville. It's really a favorite piece. There's something very interesting about that music. Many people have enjoyed and often responded to it. I'm going to end off with another selection of 3 pieces. I'm going to start with another short improvisation that I created recently in one of these live streams, and I've kept it. It was another of the welcoming tunes on my YouTube channel. Just a reminder that if you are watching, or if you have never watched before, and you would like to actually catch up on the previous 179 hour-long live streams, this is number 180. They are all available at my YouTube channel. If you go to YouTube and you select those, it will give you on the homepage, it will give you the most recent, the most viewed, and some of the featured videos. But if you actually go to the video page, it says video at the top of the tab, you will get them all in order, all 180 of them. And it's really quite a journey to watch, to see how we started and what they look like now. And speaking of that, I sent out email to my mailing list this week on Monday and Tuesday. And in it I included answers, or at least I included the questions in my mailing list, and the answers are at my website. Many people are asking me many questions about how does our live stream studio setup work, why I haven't cut my hair, why my jackets are looking small on me, apparently, is something which has cropped up more than once. And various other questions, why I play this piano, the Kawaii piano, and not a Steinway when I'm a Steinway artist. So the answers to all these questions at my website. If you go to my website, musicrevival.co.za, and you look at the Don't Stop the Music page, you will see all the answers. It was quite an interesting exercise to try and be quite precise about what I had to say, and I have to thank my friend Margot for helping me with that. It was a great help really to have a very discerning and skillful eye being cast over my words. Always good, always try to get the right grammar and the wording right and all the spell checks, and really to make sense of what one is writing. It's always a great help. So I'm going to start off with this little improvisation in F minor. I'm then going to play something a little bit more contemporary. It's got quite a sort of contemporary feel. Another improvisation which I've kept, which I created for campaign last year, which was really going out to all those technical people on the stage and various related industry whose careers and whose businesses have been severely affected by the lockdowns. And it's quite a good piece of music, so I've actually kept the title Lighted in Red. I think it's quite a suitable one. I'm then going to play for Sheila in Pietermaritzburg. When I announced that I was going to be playing some of my own music, her popular choice was the Midnight Chorale. I think it's quite a suitable choice for this evening. So this is an improvisation in F, very short, Lighted in Red and the Midnight Chorale. That was one of my own pieces, the Midnight Chorale, which was the last last composition really in this program. Before that, I started off that section of 4 with an improvisation from one of my programs, one of my sessions in F major, lighted in red, an improvisation from some time ago that I kept, the Midnight Chorale, and it's accompanied, gosh, I can hear the cicadas or the Christmas beetles have just started this evening after the storm, and we hope you've enjoyed the selection so far. So I am going to end off tonight with a very final piece, as always, as I've said in every of these Wednesday concerts. I am going to end off with an improvisation around a carol, a Christmas carol, and this evening it is the Annunciation Carol, which I am going to play, and this is inspired. I was once asked to actually play. I hadn't really thought about improvising in public, and I was asked to take part in a concert which was centered around these various carols, and I was asked to play an improvisation around this particular carol called the Annunciation Carol, or often known as Gabriel's Message or the Angel Gabriel. And it's an original, it's a very ancient Basque tune, and it has a very unique atmosphere, and I found that when I improvised on it, I was coming up and finding some very interesting and quite intriguing ideas and moods and atmospheres, and it really seems to have worked very well. So for this evening's final number, I am going to play an improvisation based around that. I seem to keep playing improvisations around improvisations. Hey Lucy. And that's going to be the final number on this evening's program. very interesting tune. It's such a fascinating tune that is such a fascinating melody, an ancient Basque tune, the Angel Gabriel, the carol, the Annunciation Carol, and that was an improvisation. It sort of always amazes me what comes out of it. It seems to really lend itself, especially in the key that I'm playing with, A minor. So I hope you've enjoyed this rather unusual. I was very nervous. I was a little bit apprehensive about playing this evening's program, playing a whole selection of my own music as well as some new compositions. But I hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you to Barry for the technical support, and I hope you've enjoyed all the scenes. We have some extra little vignettes and things for you to see this evening, and also with our Christmas season well on its way now. Someone else who is, I think, well on her way. Where did little Lucy go? Okay, we only have Frida and Wendy Pop, and I was speaking to a friend of mine, Greg, this morning, who might be watching, and Greg said he would love to see what the dogs look like with some Christmas attire. So let's see. Here we go. Here's little Wendy Pop with a suitable little Christmas Alice band. Hello, Wendy Pop. What have you been doing? Oh, you have been chasing. Wendy Pop has been eating a cupboard the whole day. There's a cupboard on the veranda which appears to have a rat or something underneath it, and she's been nibbling at the cupboard and biting bits of the wood of all that. You've been so busy. So busy. Do you like, let's see what you look like. Can you walk with that? Let's see how you go. No, you don't like it. You don't like it at all. Let's see, maybe Lucy wants it on. Come, Lucy. Come on. Come on, Lucy. No, Lucy's not interested. Maybe Frida Pop. Frida Pop and Wendy. Okay, not going to happen tonight. So I was trying to figure out how I'm going to keep it. If I put it on one of them at the beginning of the session, how we're going to keep it. But maybe we'll have to try at the beginning and have the puppets on the beginning of the session instead of waiting till the end. Lucy's running off. There she goes. Thank you very much for joining me tonight. Hope you've enjoyed the session. We look forward to seeing you on Saturday when I have some more classics, little less often played classics for you on Saturday evening. And next Wednesday, a whole selection, a whole evening of carols, which we'll be including then the text on the screen for you to sing along to, or just enjoy the text and the music together. That'll be a carol session next Wednesday evening. Look after yourselves, keep safe, stay well, keep well, and we look forward to seeing you shortly.